So, when I return a bit to my trip 10 years ago to that glacier, and while I do it, I will just try to code a new graph, so we'll see how that goes. Speaking and programming at the same time. So I came to Odda with the bus in the early morning, and I walked up the hills and into the valley to this glacier in Hardanger. And I remember I saw some goats who were caught on a mountain, what do you call it? Some kind of mountain plateau with some cliffs. And I tried to talk to some farmers about that, you know, me the city boy telling the farmers how to save their goats or whatever. And turned out the goats were more than capable of taking care of themselves. So, but then these farmers would tell me about the glacier itself, which I hadn't gotten to yet, and how that had shrunk so much just in the latest years, like 5 meters or 10 meters thinner ice on the biggest glacier in Hardanger. So then I proceeded up the really steep hills, you know, like you have these U-shaped valleys that are carved by gigantic glaciers many thousand years ago. Maybe several glaciations, you know, like 5 or 6 different ice ages contributing to this super deep and very steep valley. So up to the glacier, and I forgot to mention it, this was, you know, like mid-October or something in 2006, and even though it was morning and mid-October, it was really hot, really warm, like 20 degrees Celsius or something, right? So it felt very, should I say, scary, or, you know, varying to have that that kind of temperature. So basically a very laborious, heavy trip with my backpack and my tent and everything on my back up to where the glacier is, like maybe 800 or 1,000 vertical meters up. And yeah, to make a long story short, I got all kinds of emotional and sentimental and every kind of thing like that. And I also made some notes, you know, like in my tent in the evening. I just wrote like 5 or 6 sheets of paper, just, you know, feeling like it was some kind of external voice or something coming down from the glacier, some kind of inspiration, some kind of alvor, some kind of seriousness, or you know, this is for real in a way. And even though I kept the notes, I only found them in my flat when I was moving out of central Oslo, like a year ago. I briefly found them and then they went lost again. That's like just how it is. But in any case, the point isn't really what was in those notes, because I think those notes were pretty confused anyway, you know? It's like you get this feeling or emotion, but you don't really know what you're supposed to do with it or what it really means. So of course I kind of interpreted it as, oh, this is now it's time for you to you know, realize you're grown up, you are single, you need to find some kind of woman and make a kid and go on with your life, you know. I guess everybody has had that feeling once or twice in their life, at least. So it's like you see this vast white stretch of ice, which is, you know, 1,000,000 times bigger than you are, if not 1,000,000,000 times bigger. And you are so small, you're in the mountain, you are so incredibly little, like a little ant, and you know, what's it all for, and you know, all kinds of philosophical or semi-religious questions coming up. But as I said, I think we have to kind of interpret it, seeing it in a new light. And I think it's I think what that glacier reminded me of was how everything is sort of limited, or days are numbered in a way, you know. So even though I had no idea back in 2006 how you know, to what incredible degree our days would be numbered, because, you know, I've just barely been scraping the surface of this whole climate situation back then. But I had been very, very into climate in the way that a teenager or a 20-something can be into it, because at that age you are naive, you believe mass media, even though you don't believe every politician, you believe that maybe some politician could be actually honest about caring about it. And if not in Norway, maybe somebody in the UN, United Nations, you know, in New York or Geneva or whatever. Somebody had to be doing their job, you know, getting paid millions for eating gala luncheons and everything. Maybe some of them were still, you know, doing an honest job to save the climate. But no. So I'm kind of interpreting it as a reminder this existence is limited. It's not eternal, and I think that's what brought me back to studying the climate, was that October mountain trip to the glacier. So I kind of like that, because I've always felt that you know, nature communicates to you if you are if you're ready to listen. So, but now I need to focus a bit on this graph thing. So I'm kind of looking into this paradigm thing I've been talking about. That we are amazingly in another of these scientific paradigm shifts, where views or theories or interpretations of the same data differ violently between different factions of scientists or people, or like politically or otherwise motivated people who seemingly are unable to see what the other group is stating. And I find that pretty fascinating, actually. So what I'm doing now is that I'm trying to put together some sort of Google chart that can communicate exactly what I'm talking about, right? In a clear picture, a clear view graph. So it's a little bit of coding, but you can just lie there, can't you? And record what I'm saying. I just won't be talking all the time. So I'm working with the sea ice volume, because that is the most significant indicator for the sea ice collapse, and the sea ice collapse in its turn is the most significant indicator for climate change. So it sort of all boils down to Arctic sea ice volume. And even that is, based on very questionable data from the University of Washington, the Biomas computer model, which has grid cells that are like 40 kilometers times 40 kilometers. So it's, huge, really huge coarse sort of pixels, and has lots of limitations because they cannot pick up every kind of variation of some open water in between the ice and stuff. Alright, so I got a new title for an old graph. I'm sort of recycling an old functioning graph. Instead of writing everything from scratch, I just copy and rename a file, and then just change some parameters like font size and title and stuff like that.